quiet revenge. Everyone thought Ada was lucky. She lived in a house of polished marble and dark mahogany, married to a man whose pockets were as deep as his secrets. She moved through the high-ceilinged rooms like a ghost of grace, draped in silk and silence, the perfect portrait of a woman who had everything. But luck is a fragile veil, and Ada's veil was torn. From the shadows of the hallway, she watched the man she called husband, Kofi, lean close to her closest friend, Ifua. They spoke in the jagged whispers of lovers, their hands entwining with a familiarity that felt like a knife between Ada's ribs. Some women would have screamed until the windows shattered. Some would have burned the mahogany to ash. Ada did neither. She simply watched the steam rise from her morning tea, her heartbeat as steady and rhythmic as a ticking clock. She would not be the storm. She would be the slow, rising tide. That evening, the kitchen became her sanctuary and her forge. Ada began to cook, the air filling with the rich, heady scent of jollof rice and slow-roasted goat meat. She seasoned the food with a precision that looked like devotion, but was actually the first thread of a web. Kofi ate greedily, his guard melting away with every savory bite. He looked at his wife and saw only the woman who served him, never noticing the cold calculation behind her smile. He believed his silence was his shield, never realizing it had become his cage. When Efwa visited the next afternoon, Ada served her honeyed chin-chin and hibiscus tea. They sat in the garden under the shade of a broad umbrella. Ada smiled and listened to Efua's lies, all while memorizing the exact shape of the betrayal reflected in her friend's eyes. Late at night, Kofi would retreat to his private study. Thinking Ada was deep in sleep, he would slide back a heavy painting to reveal the cold steel of a safe. Inside lay the deeds, the gold, and the hidden wealth he valued more than his own soul. He stroked the metal, feeling secure in his hoard. On the night of the heavy rains, Ada did not go to bed. She stood by the back door, the rhythmic drumming on the roof drowning out the sound of the deadbolt sliding open. She gestured to the two men waiting in the shadows, men who knew how to move quietly and carry heavy burdens. By dawn, the study was a hollow shell. The safe stood agape like a screaming mouth, its belly emptied of every coin and contract. Kofi stood in the doorway, the morning light revealing the ruin of his empire. He reached out to touch the empty space, his hands trembling with a sudden, freezing poverty. Everyone thought Ada was lucky, and as she stepped out into the crisp morning air with a small suitcase, she finally agreed. Some revenge is loud. Hers was served warm, eaten slowly, and planned in silence. She walked toward the gate, leaving the mahogany and the marble behind for a future she had bought and paid for.